Unlocking hidden symptoms of the post-black moon, discover the sacred unrest within you. I never expected a single dream to change everything. The night was heavy with silence, the kind that wraps around you like a thick fog, pressing in, whispering secrets you dare not uncover. The moon had slipped into darkness, a black void hanging in the sky like an unspoken question. It was during this time that the whispers grew louder, prickling the edges of my mind, awakening something inside me, a restlessness I couldn't ignore. That I stood at the window, staring into the depths of the night. My heart raced, drumming against my ribcage like a wild animal trying to escape. The air felt charged, electric, as if the cosmos knew I was teetering on the edge of discovery. Shadows flickered in the corner of my eye, and I couldn't shake the feeling that the universe was watching me, waiting for me to make my move. In meditation, I had often felt a pull, but this was different. It was urgent, insistent. My breaths came in gasps, the room spinning with unspoken energy. Outside, trees swayed gently, but the leaves rustled like 1,000 voices, urging me to listen. I closed my eyes, seeking guidance, searching for signs hidden in the air that sang with magic, but the signs were elusive, teasing me with their presence. I thought of the folklore I'd heard, how dreams during the black moon could unlock hidden fears or forgotten memories. My dreams were vivid, strange images of shadows dancing, faces morphing into strangers, everything tainted with a sense of foreboding. They felt like warnings, or perhaps dreams of possibility. The weight in my chest tightened. Light flickered through my eyelids, splitting the darkness like fragile glass. What was the universe trying to tell me? The doubt loomed larger, a storm gathering on the horizon. I could almost see it, breathing a nebulous mass of uncertainty and desire. I envisioned myself walking through a forest of whispers, each tree a thought, each branch a question. Where will this path lead? What lies just beyond my grasp? And then the thought struck me, sharp and sudden, like the crack of thunder. What if I was not merely a passive participant in my life? What if I could unlock something within, something powerful enough to change everything? But as the questions rolled through my mind, I felt a shivering sensation that perhaps some doors were never meant to be opened. With my heart racing, I opened my eyes, the ordinary room around me suddenly feeling like a cage. The tension gripped me tighter, each breath a reminder of the choice I had to make. Would I stay in the safety of the familiar, or step into the unknown chaos that beckoned? Just then, the wind howled outside, rattling the glass and making the trees dance wildly. I flinched, but deep down, the thrill of the unknown surged through me. I was on the brink of something extraordinary, but what? Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. As dawn broke, the darkness peeled away, but the lingering energy from the night before held fast, like a spell woven into the morning light. I rose slowly, drawn to the window again, mesmerized by the transformation taking place outside. The world shifted, revealing colors that seemed newly painted, vibrant greens and crisp blues that had been hidden beneath the veil of night. There was beauty in the aftermath of that darkness, a reminder that renewal often follows despair. The urgency in my chest had not dissipated, if anything, it thrummed louder, in sync with the awakening day. I had spent so long drowning in the depths of introspection, now I felt the pull of the tide beckoning me out towards the shore. What awaited me beyond the horizon of my fear? Visions unfurled in my mind like petals of a flower, encounters, choices, and paths obscured by the shadows of doubt. That I decided to take a walk, hoping that the rustling leaves and the whispers of the morning would provide clarity. Each step felt like a secret chance, the cobblestones beneath my feet a canvas of possibility. I ventured into the forest, a sanctuary where spirits of nature thrived and stories hung in the air like faint echoes of laughter. As I wandered deeper, I stumbled upon a clearing, the sun shining directly into its heart, where a solitary tree stood, ancient and wise. Its trunk gnarled, yet resilient, it bore signs of storms weathered with grace. Instinctively, I approached it, the enormity of its presence striking a chord deep inside me. I could feel its energy pulsing, echoing the very restlessness I had been grappling with. Did this tree, too, hold its own secrets? What lessons could it impart? I reached out and touched the bark, the grooves and texture speaking of ages past. Suddenly, a familiar sensation washed over me, an echo from my dreams. The shadows from the night before seemed to dance around the tree as if each twist and turn of the gnarled wood held memories I had long since forgotten. I closed my eyes again, breathing in the earthiness of this sacred space. What started as whispers turned into a cacophony, voices intertwining with the rustling leaves. They pulled me into a trance, visions of my past flooding my mind, the joyful moments, the heartbreaks, the choices I had made or those left behind. I felt threads connecting my experiences, weaving a tapestry of purpose. My heart swelled and twisted, questioning the very nature of my existence. What if every small choice carved a path leading me towards something greater? With each breath, a deeper understanding blossomed within me. I was more than just a spectator in my life, I had the power to shape my reality. But alongside this empowerment grew a question that clung to my consciousness like morning mist. What if the shadows I had feared were not obstacles but rather guides steering me toward my truth? What if embracing those hidden fears unlocked the very essence of who I was meant to be? Emerging from that reverie, I realized the tree had given me more than just a moment of stillness, it had presented me with a mystery to unravel. I needed a guide, someone who could help me decipher the dreams filled with omens and the visions that had begun to coalesce. Perhaps, the universe would reveal another sign, a flicker of light in my inner journey toward understanding. Leaving the clearing behind, I felt a surge of determination mixed with uncertainty. The path of exploration loomed ahead, filled with all its questions left unanswered. Was I truly ready to confront what lay hidden beneath? As the forest embraced me again, I couldn't help but ask, in uncovering the sacred unrest within, might I discover the sacred within the unrest itself? The rhythmic crunch of leaves underfoot accompanied me as I made my way through the forest, each sound resonating with the pulse of my growing resolve. The echoes of the ancient tree's wisdom looped through my mind, a reminder that even life's most tumultuous moments could serve as catalysts for blossoming into something greater. Yet, the question of what lay ahead loomed like a distant specter, both enticing and intimidating. As I wandered further, the canopy above thickened, weaving a tapestry of shadows that danced in the fleeting sunlight. It was in this layered darkness that I first caught a glimpse of another presence. A flicker of movement caught my eye, an ethereal figure gliding gracefully between the trees. It was unlike anything I had ever seen, more a whisper of light than a corporeal being. My heart raced, curiosity igniting within me as I instinctively followed. With each step, the atmosphere shifted, charged with an energy that felt almost electric. The figure led me deeper into the woods, where a shrill sound, like laughter, echoed through the trees. Was it real or merely a trick of the mind? Soon, I found myself on the edge of a serene lake, its surface reflecting the world above, capturing the clouds in a delicate embrace. The figure stood at the water's edge, illuminated by a shaft of sunlight that seemed to funnel down from the heavens. As I approached, the light brightened, and the laughter transformed into a melody, rich and harmonious. Without conscious thought, I knelt by the shore, drawn to the soothing rhythm resonating within the depths of the shimmering water. Do you know why you have come here? The figure spoke softly, their voice blending seamlessly with the song of the lake. It was not just a question, but a mirror reflecting my innermost thoughts. I hesitated, unsure of how to articulate the whirlwind of feelings and uncertainties swirling inside me. I seek answers, I finally replied, my voice trembling. I yearn to understand the shadows that linger in my heart. The figure shifted, emerging from the light as though woven from the very essence of the lake itself. You seek what you have always known, yet forgotten, they replied, their gaze piercing into mine. To embrace the sacred unrest within you is to embrace all that you have been, both light and shadow. I felt a chord resonate, their words ignited a flicker of recognition deep within my soul. Then, like gifts unwrapping in the silent corners of my mind, fragments of truth began to blend with the melodies surrounding me. I could almost recall moments of clarity I had experienced before, those fleeting times when my heart and ambitions had synced to a perfect rhythm, every beat a reminder of what truly mattered. Do not shy away from the depths of your fears, they continued, their voice now a soft caress resonating through the air. Each echoes the truth you seek. Delve deeper, and you might just find that the answers form the fabric of your very existence. A multitude of feelings washed over me: fear, excitement, and longing to grasp those elusive threads of understanding woven into my journey. I paused, allowing the weight of their wisdom to settle within me. I could feel the lake inviting me to submerge myself, not just in its waters but within the expanse of my own soul. What if I sink? I questioned, vulnerability lining my words. What if the shadows pull me under? The figure merely smiled, a serene confidence reflected in their eyes. Sinking can be a form of rebirth. Sometimes, you must lose yourself to find the full spectrum of who you are meant to become. Was I ready to surrender to this illuminating plunge into the depths of my own consciousness? Instinctively, I knew that the real work lay ahead, beneath layers of memories and hidden truths. As I gazed into the expanding ripples in the water, I felt a newfound sense of determination. Could it be that accepting my fears, my uncertainties, and all the shades of sorrow, would ultimately lead me to the most profound wisdom? With a gentle sigh, I realized I stood at the threshold of an important choice. How could I begin this exploration? What revelations awaited me within the labyrinth of my own being? Embarking on this journey meant embracing the enigma of uncertainty and stepping into the unknown with an open heart. In that moment, I marveled at the intertwining of light and shadow, questioning what awaited in the depths. Could true transformation emerge from the heart of unrest? The stillness of the lake surrounded me, the surface now a mirror reflecting not only the sky but the turbulent sea of thoughts raging within. As I knelt there, I was struck by a sudden gust of wind that rippled across the water, breaking its tranquil facade and sending a cascade of small waves crashing against the shore. This natural disturbance felt like a summons, a challenge to turn inward and confront the maelstrom lurking in my depths. The figure remained poised, their ethereal frame untouched by the chaos of the outside world. You see, they began, their voice slicing through the air like a gentle breeze, the world outside mirrors the world within. When we face the storms of our own making, we unlock the potential that resides in our shadows. With that, the melodic whisper of the lake transformed once again, shifting into a sonorous undertone that merged with my heartbeat. An ancient chant seemed to roll through the ground beneath me, and as I grasped the earth, I felt the vibrations of stories, tales of struggle, love, loss, and metamorphosis echoing through time. Listen deeply, the figure urged, their gaze unwavering. Each wave carries wisdom, and each layer of your unspoken fears holds a treasure of insight. Will you resonate with their truth? I took a deep breath, feeling the air fill my lungs like a warm embrace. What if each shadow whispered secrets of resilience? The very thought propelled me to lean closer to the water's edge, my intuition guiding me to close my eyes and listen closely. The laughter, the music now clearer became a soundtrack for the exploration. Visions began to unfold behind my eyes, a kaleidoscope of memories and emotions swirling like the colors of autumn leaves caught in a whirlwind. I saw myself at pivotal moments, times I had walked away from fear only to find it waiting for me around the next corner. I remembered the heartache of lost connections, the isolation that followed when I tried to hide my truth, and the dwindling spirit that loomed like a shadow in the corners of my mind. Fear is a wise teacher, the figure intoned, breaking through the haze of my recollections. In recognizing it, you will find your greatest strength. What patterns bind you to these memories? What do you mean? I questioned, yearning for clarity. Each moment felt like a piece of a puzzle, the hard edges were familiar yet distorted, refusing to interlock seamlessly. They stepped into the water, without a ripple, as if the lake opened itself to receive them. The threads of our experiences weave together the fabric of our being. Look closely. What part of you resists the depths? What aspect clings to the surface? A flood of emotion crashed over me. Tears I had long hidden began to seep from the corners of my eyes, and something within me craved release. The memories pooled within my heart, rising to the surface. A cacophony of regret and unfulfilled dreams battered against my resolve. The what-ifs can bind you, the figure observed gently. What if you transformed your hesitation into curiosity? Each chain that connects you to fear can also lead you deeper into understanding. Could it be that simple? The idea rolled around my mind, each word sparking a flicker of hope. Perhaps I could replace the heavy burdens of guilt and hesitation with a lens of curiosity. What if instead of resisting my fears, I explored them, allowing them to guide me toward my hidden truths? As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a golden hue across the lake, I felt a quiet determination swell within. The shadows seemed less daunting now, morphing into allies in this exploration rather than foes. I understood that the darkest recesses of my soul were not voids, but potential waiting to be transformed into light. What lies ahead, in the depths of that transition? I asked, the question uncertain yet ripe with possibility. The figure regarded me thoughtfully. Each step you take into that darkness becomes a guidepost toward awakening. Will you ignite the small flame of trust within yourself, letting the shadows illuminate your path? And there it was, the invitation to engage with my fears rather than flee. But as I pondered the spiritual labyrinth that awaited me, a new question lingered like the glow of twilight. How would I navigate the delicate dance between fear and hope to unlock the hidden potential residing in my very core? The twilight sky deepened, muted hues of purple and navy swirling above like a canvas of the soul's awakening. I felt an inexplicable yearning to move beyond the comfort of the lake's edge, as if its still waters were gently nudging me toward an unseen horizon. The figure stood still, emanating an aura of calm authority that urged me to venture further into the unknown. As I rose to my feet and took a tentative step away from the familiar shore, I noticed the earth beneath me vibrating with a subtle energy. Each footfall became a rhythm, resonating with the pulse of the universe, as if the ground itself conspired to awaken the spirit within. I walked, entranced by the melodies of nature, the rustle of leaves, the distant call of a nightbird, each sound unfolding a story I had yet to hear. With each step into the dense forest that bordered the lake, I felt the canopy of trees embrace me, enclosing me in a sanctuary of ancient wisdom. Shadows danced intriguingly along the trail, shifting shapes that beckoned to reveal secrets long buried in the recesses of my heart. I paused, letting the cool breeze brush against my skin, and closed my eyes, inhaling the earthy scent of the woodland. What do you seek? A voice whispered from within, a faint echo of the figure's earlier words. It was an essential inquiry that sparked curiosity within me. I yearned to understand what lay beyond the veil of my fears. I felt a tugging, as if some unseen force was coaxing me deeper into the incognito of the forest. As I ventured further, I stumbled upon a clearing alive with luminous phosphorescent flowers dancing against the encroaching twilight. Their glow was enchanting, a magical presence that drew me closer. I knelt beside one of the blooms, mesmerized, and a gentle hum began to resonate from the petals. It was a sound unlike anything I had heard, an ancient language vibrating with promise and unfulfilled dreams. In every heart, there exists an unexpressed song, spoke a voice, this time distinct yet hauntingly familiar. I opened my eyes to see the figure standing just beyond the flowers, now interwoven with their glow, making them appear almost radiant. You are never alone in this journey. Each creation yearns to communicate with you, to unlock the mysteries you hold within. I reached out tentatively, fingertips brushing against the petals, and in that moment, a vision surged through me, lives spiraling like flames ignited by long-suppressed emotions. I saw fragments of fear manifesting as barriers, each feeling a note in my song of existence, a symphony of suffering intertwined with beauty. The weight of my fears had shadowed these notes too long, muting the potential melodies. How can I compose a new song? I whispered, unveiling the fragility of my inquiry. I sensed the power of intention, but how could I translate that into harmony? The figures stepped closer, their presence radiating gentle strength. The notes of your song are already within you. Listen to the rhythms of your heart, for they resonate with truth. What would you sing if fear no longer prevailed? The question reverberated, intertwining with the gentle hum of the flowers. If I could free myself from the chains of expectation, grief, and anxiety, what would emerge? Clarity began to form in my mind, a vision of a life steeped in authenticity, where my truest self emerged, unmasked and unburdened. Was it really possible to rise from the ashes of despair and transform them into a melody of hope? I stood, invigorated by this thought, feeling a dance unfold in my spirit. My fears began to shift, they were no longer obstructions but stepping stones that led me toward the wisdom they harbored. With each flickering light of the flowers casting their luminescence around me, I understood that the shadows of my past were not merely burdens, but notes waiting patiently for the right moment to be played. As the darkness draped over the forest, I glanced back toward the figure, whose expression reflected a deep recognition. In the space between us, the world felt alive with potential, not merely a wilderness of my fears but a garden longing to bloom. What if I uncover that song? I pondered aloud, the question swirling in the air thick with possibilities. An undercurrent of excitement bubbled within me, revealing an unexpected hope mingling with trepidation. The figure smiled softly. Every note begins with a single breath. Will you find the courage to exhale? Will you allow your song to emerge? The real question is not simply how to navigate through the darkness, but how to let that darkness refine your light. And as I stood amid the enchanting flowers, illuminated in their bioluminescent glow, another question unfolded, a curious pull toward the untold truth of my existence. What if the path to my deepest potential was not designed to be clear, but rather a winding exploration meant to be embraced with each breath, each note, and every delightful uncertainty? As the soft glow of the phosphorescent flowers surrounded me, I felt a tremor of awakening sweep through my very being. The figure's words lingered in the air like the faint echo of a distant drum, nudging me deeper into the mysteries that awaited my discovery. The darkness invited me to explore not with fear, but with the fervor of a seeker yearning for truth. That I turned from the clearing, sensing an instinct pulling me further into the woods. The path twisted like the tendrils of my own thoughts, leading me to a thicket where the trees leaned in, their branches intertwined above, creating a canopy of secrets. In this secluded space, the air grew dense with a sweetness that felt almost intoxicating, awakening forgotten memories. And like a forgotten song, urging to rise. Suddenly, a shimmer of color danced at the corner of my eye. Curious, I approached, my heart quickening with anticipation. Emerging from the shadows was a creature unlike anything I had encountered before, a sleek, ebony fox with glimmering silver stripes trailing down its back. Its piercing eyes held depths that seemed to contain the universe itself, reflecting the flickers of my own inner struggles. Why do you hesitate? The fox's voice was a melodic whisper, both playful and wise. The journey of unveiling your song begins with acknowledging every facet of your being. It is not merely a story of light and dark, it is an adventure of unity. In that moment, I felt seen not only by the fox, but by the very fabric of existence itself. I questioned how often I had shied away from the darker notes of my life, those moments where pain tangled with joy, despair with hope. But how can I embrace the shadows when they seem to choke my spirit? I asked, the honesty of my vulnerability pouring forth. The fox stepped closer, its gaze unwavering. Do not forget, dear soul, that what you deem as shadows often cast the most profound shapes. They are teachers, guides cloaked in dusk. When you turn towards them, the illumination of understanding begins to burn. We cannot compose a psalm without the rich palette of all experiences, the joy, the sorrow, the uncertainty, and the acceptance. I took a breath, feeling the complex symphony of my life emerge within me, playing gently against the backdrop of my consciousness. The fears I clutched so tightly had been preventing me from dancing freely within the uncertainty. Had I been viewing my struggles as hindrances, instead of the building blocks to the melody I was meant to create? As I pondered this realization, I felt the earth shift beneath me, a pulse of energy surged upwards, inviting me to step further into this meditative state. The fox began to circle around me, its movements fluid and rhythmic, as if calling forth the essence of the dance that I yearned to ignite. I joined in, letting my body sway as the music of the forest enveloped me, rustling leaves, the chirping crickets, and the whispering winds intertwined. That I in this primal rhythm, I began to sense a symphony weaving together, a harmony encapsulated in the rawness of my being. The shadows no longer felt heavy but became vibrant notes awaiting to be played. What if my darkest moments were the very notes needed to create a chorus of authenticity? I reflected, a newfound sense of strength echoing within me. Yet, as I toiled beneath the canopy, I still grappled with an unresolved anxiety. What if I chose to sing my truth, and it shattered the fragile bonds of those around me? What if the song that emerged was stifled by the expectations of the world? The fox paused, its gaze softening as if sensing my turmoil. Ah, but every note has its audience, and its essence resonates beyond what is heard. You are meant to resonate with those who align with your frequency, seek their vibrations, and the symphony will follow. With that, a path revealed itself leading towards a distant light, flickering like a lantern amidst the trees. The beckoning radiance felt like a promise, yet trepidation tugged at the edges of my courage. Would I find clarity, or merely encounter deeper mysteries? I glanced back at the fox, whose eyes shimmered with encouragement. Every step you take unfurls the potential within. Trust the rhythm that stirs your soul, despite the uncertainties. Remember, the beauty of your journey lies in the exploration, not merely the destination. With those final words echoing in my mind, I felt an unshakable curiosity swell within me. Light ahead was an invitation, but I couldn't name what it truly was. Could it be my song, the merging of everything I had encountered thus far in this journey? Perhaps it was the unfolding mystery of my existence itself, awaiting its own reveal. As I moved toward the flickering light, I paused once more. What if this path leads to an awakening far greater than I can fathom? And what if my song, tied to the essence of all I experience, is a key to unlocking the sacred unrest within me and the universe at large? My heart raced with questions yet uncovered, propelling me onward into the great unknown. As I ventured towards the flickering light, each step felt like a heartbeat echoing in the stillness of the woods, a reminder that I was part of something vast and intricate. The air shifted, brushing against my skin like whispers of ancient wisdom. The questions of the past churned, swirling around me like the leaves dancing in the twilight. What awaited me at this luminous focal point? Was it merely an illusion, or the revelation of truths long buried within me? The path, illuminated by the warmth of the beckoning glow, began to twist and turn, creating a mosaic of shadows and light. I breathed deeply, summoning the courage to embrace whatever lay ahead. I had learned to dance with my shadows, now it felt essential to step boldly towards the unknown. Suddenly, the light expanded, revealing a clearing that pulsed with vibrancy. In its center stood a grand tree, its trunk twisting skywards like a spiraled staircase toward the heavens. Its branches spread infinitely, adorned with iridescent leaves that glimmered in hues reminiscent of past dreams. The tree felt alive, its roots intertwining with the very soil beneath my feet, presenting an invitation wrapped in silencia, communion with the sacred. Tentatively, I approached the tree, drawn nearer by an inexplicable force. As I reached out to touch its bark, a powerful surge of energy coursed through me, igniting fragments of memories that lay dormant. I encountered images of laughter, tears, moments of despair, and flashes of brilliance, each experience mercifully transformed into a leaf shimmering upon the hillside of my mind. This, I whispered, is the essence of my Lithian intertwining tapestry of existence. With renewed curiosity, I sought to understand the deeper meaning hidden within this scene. From a crack in the bark, a tiny figure emerged, a luminous neon green beetle, radiant and articulate. Its tiny wings unfolded in a delicate dance that shimmered, casting playful patterns of light. "I am here to guide," it chimed in a voice as clear as crystal. "Each instance you lived has shaped you, layering your spirit in profound ways. What do you mean?" I replied, curiosity bubbling in every syllable. "The threads of existence," it explained, soaring gracefully around the branches, "connect each moment, much like these leaves. The revered episodes of joy and sorrow are not separate entities but essential facets of your cosmic song. Acknowledge the symphony they create together, and listen to the echo of their wisdom. Only then will you unlock the power to sing your truth." That I closed my eyes again, surrendering to the rhythm pulsing within me. I recalled my past as not just a collection of experiences, but an unfolding narrative rich with lessons. Hadn't my struggles given rise to resilience? Hadn't my despair birthed creativity? What if embracing every note, despite its dissonance, could reveal a more magnificent harmony? The beetle circled back, landing delicately upon my shoulder. "There exists a sacred unrest within you, a fire urging to break free. Allow it to ignite. You are not held captive by your past, it is the alchemist of your present self. When you embrace the full spectrum of your existence, truly wrestling with it, you shall find liberation. Yet, the choice is yours to command this unfolding, filled with an overwhelming sense of potential, I stood tall beneath the grand tree, a conduit of my own becoming. Who might I become when I embraced the full spectrum of my song? What dimensions of myself lay dormant, waiting to be awakened? As the echoes of the beetles' words settled in, I reached out towards the leaves gently brushing against my fingertips. Their vibrant hues spoke of the unity I sought so fervently, and yet a question lingered: would I have the courage to reveal myself fully once I uncovered my truth? What if the very act of singing my song meant stepping fully into a reality that others couldn't or wouldn't comprehend? A veil of uncertainty hung over me, the answers were unclear, but the light ahead beckoned with promises of wisdom and growth. With each beat of my heart, the harmony I felt within grew louder, igniting my resolve to move past the fear of exposure. As I took a step back, ready to embrace this newfound awareness, another echo floated through my mind, perhaps the ultimate question that loomed large within me. What if my journey is not solely about unlocking my own truth, but also about how that truth redefines my connection to the world? What if the awakening of my song could ripple through the lives of those around me, awakening the sacred unrest within them as well? I closed my eyes again, surrendering once more to the symphony of the forest, embracing the thrilling uncertainty as I felt the light draw me onward into my unfolding reality. The soft glow of the grand tree was a steadfast presence behind me as I journeyed further into the clearing. Though the luminous beetle had offered guidance, the questions it left hanging nagged like persistent whispers of wind through the branches. Each rustle echoed my desires and fears, compelling me to move deeper into the heart of this strange, enchanted domain. Beyond the tree, the landscape opened into a vast field covered with ethereal blooms that glimmered under the light of a crescent moon awakening from its slumber. Flowers of every imaginable hue radiated an unlikely but welcoming luminescence, appearing both delicate and unyielding. I felt inexplicably drawn to a cluster of blossoms shimmering in a vibrant indigo. As I approached, their scent enveloped me, a rich, intoxicating aroma, reminiscent of freshly turned earth and ancient rites. "Welcome, seeker," came a voice as soft as the evening breeze. It was a figure cloaked in layers of translucent fabrics, each reflecting the colors of the flowers surrounding us. With a serene smile, the woman stepped forward, her eyes pools of wisdom. "I am Ligia, keeper of unsung songs. You've encountered the energy of the tree, but now you stand at the threshold of the inner garden, the essence of those hidden aspects of yourself you yearn to illuminate. How can I illuminate what remains shrouded?" My voice held a note of yearning for clarity, a key I desperately sought in the lock of my own heart. Ligia knelt to gently pluck a flower from the earth. "Each petal harbors secrets," she said, holding it delicately between her fingers. "Perceive the world around you, how the petals unfold, revealing their beauty only when they surrender to the light. In this space lies the truth of your own hidden symptoms. What fears or desires lie cloaked in shadow? It is time to unearth them, to sing them into the world." Sing. I mused, recalling the beetle's words and the sacred unrest within me. What if my song is too fractured, too messy to share? She met my gaze, her voice a melodic flow. "Every song begins with dissonance, my dear. To express your truth is not merely to polish it into perfection, but to allow it to emerge ruggedly, authentically. Each note matters, every sorrow, joy, and uncertainty forms the entire essence of the harmony. It takes courage to share these notes, but therein lies your power." With those words anchoring my thoughts, I knelt beside her, my heart racing as I acknowledged the emotions I had tucked beneath layers of pretense. I envisioned the fears, the ones that whispered inadequacy in moments of joy, the shadow of regret that loomed even in successes, the hesitation that turned bold dreams into mere notions. What if each of these could transform, just as the delicate blooms unfurling before me? As if reading my thoughts, Ligia leaned closer. "In our shared resonances lies the key to wisdom. There are shapes of yourself yet unexplored. You must listento both the echoes of your past and the futures yet unwritten." With her encouragement, I inhaled deeply, letting the scent of the flowers invite a new layer of intention into my assembly of thoughts. The path to revealing my full song didn't demand a checklist of accomplishments, rather, it called for acceptance of my fallen notes and the imperfections that colored my narrative. What if sharing this truth shatters the expectations of others? I whispered, trembling at the thought of vulnerability on display. fear not the judgment of the world, it is within the judgment you often find your power, she replied, her eyes glimmering like stars. Embrace this sacred unrest. It is a dream longing to be shared, a step towards rediscovery. As my surroundings glowed with an electric resonance, I felt a flame of determination ignite within. My past was not merely a tapestry of light and shadow, it was a living entity, urging me to give voice to the unsung verses of my journey. What if by unlocking my hidden symptoms, I became a beacon for others to find and explore their own truths? Suddenly, the indigo flowers began to sway in a choreographed dance, responding to the cadence of the night's breath. Inspired, I stood amidst their luminous beauty and began to hum softly, my voice shaky yet resonant, echoing the fears I was taught to hide, the joys I had longed to share, and the connections I yearned to forge. Would this act of courage ripple through the souls of those around me? Could my humble song awaken their own sacred unrest, prompting them to reveal the parts tucked away in their own hearts? As I swayed, the rhythm of my revelations intertwined with the whispers of the forest. I closed my eyes once more and surrendered to the melody resonating from deep within. My voice gave form to the questions that danced in the shadows, and as the sun began to rise, illuminating the edge of the horizon, I wondered anew, what other secrets lay yet unfound, waiting under the folds of the universe, ready to be sung and shared. As the dawn broke, casting its warm hues across the clearing, I felt a gentle pull beneath my feet, as if the very earth wanted to beckon me further into its embrace. The flowers began to quiet, the swaying ceasing as though they too awaited my next move. Ligia, still beside me, transformed into an intricate tapestry of colors, her essence weaving seamlessly with the landscape around us. Let us venture deeper, she suggested, her voice resonating with the first rays of sunlight. The sacred unrest you feel is merely a threshold, beyond lies a realm of revelations, waiting to unfurl before you. Curious and invigorated, I stepped forward. The ground felt different here, the air thick with anticipation. I could sense layers of energy undulating, each whispering secrets and stories lost to time. As we walked, I noticed the landscape shift, the field giving way to a forest where ancient trees stood like wise sentinels, their roots intertwined with the song of the earth. Each tree has its own story, Ligia shared, her gaze drifting skyward, where ethereal birds flitted about. As with the petals of the flowers, so too do the trees reveal their truths through age and experience. Pay attention to their whispers, they too might reflect the hidden symptoms of your own journey. I approached the nearest tree, its bark rugged yet inviting, and placed my hand upon it. Instantly, I felt a rush of memories flood my consciousness, echoes of laughter and sorrow, moments of profound insight twinkling like stars in a night sky. Each pulse resonated through me, revealing the fears and aspirations I had long buried, the smiles that remained hidden beneath worry. Was this the hidden wisdom of the universe, weaving itself through the ages? Within these memories lies a map, Ligia explained softly, a guide to understanding both where you have been and where you must go. Uncover the narratives tucked away. Let them surface like the butterflies emerging from their cocoons. As the sun climbed higher, the shadows began to dance more fervently, and I closed my eyes once more, allowing the vibrant energy to wrap around me like a comforting cloak. I envisioned stirring the still waters of my own experiences. What lessons had I overlooked? What myths had I clung to that no longer served me? Instinctively, I began to whisper my reflections to the tree, letting the words flow like a stream sharing its journey with the riverbanks. I have feared failure, whispered doubt into my heart, and questioned the essence of my worth. The tree seemed to absorb my words, its bark warm under my touch, and in response, a gentle breeze rustled the leaves, carrying my confessions into the realm beyond. In that moment, the air felt electric, vibrating with a powerful resonance. I sensed the presence of entities, perhaps spirits of those who had walked their own paths, offering guidance and solidarity. My heart swelled. Was I merely an observer of these stories, or could I also contribute my melody to this ancient choir? Opening my eyes, I felt a profound sense of connection not only to the tree but to the very fabric of existence. It dawned on me that each experience, however messy or fractured, added its own thread to a grander tapestry. I understood that to live authentically was to weave messy designs into this fabric, not to strive for perfection, but to appreciate every knot and stitch that contributed to the overarching beauty. As I turned to share these revelations with Ligia, I noticed she was no longer by my side. Instead, she had transformed into a luminescent wisp, weaving effortlessly through the trees, guiding me deeper. Her soft laughter echoed like chimes in the wind, encouraging me to follow. I pursued her, feeling the pull of the unknown unfurling before me. The path twisted into a grove that opened up to a tranquil pond, the water reflecting the dance of light above. At its edge lay small stones engraved with symbols that pulsed with energy. These seemed to speak a language untold, a call to further dive into the depths of my being. Kneeling by the water, I ran my fingers over the stones, allowing intuition to guide me. What would each reveal? The sacred unrest had ignited a quest within me, one I could feel growing with each heartbeat. Were there more unsung verses waiting to resonate from my soul? What new questions would emerge from this new chapter of discovery? I closed my eyes, breathed deeply, and whispered into the pond, "Show me what lies beneath the surface of who I am. What syllables of my song remain unheard, what new keys to my growth await on the horizon?" The ripples spread across the water, and in that moment, I surrendered to the mystery that lay before me and beyond. Each wave shimmered with potential, reflecting not only the sky above but the universe within. A notion began to bloom: did the path of discovery ever truly end, or was each revelation merely an invitation to dive even deeper? In the quiet of that sacred grove, the air thick with expectation, I felt my heart pulse with newfound clarity. The journey that had commenced as a whisper in the night had transformed into a roaring tide, carrying me toward the shores of self-discovery. Each ripple in the pond mirrored the shifts within me, inviting me to explore the depths of what I could become. As I knelt there, I realized it was not simply about uncovering my hidden fears and desires. It was, instead, a revelation that spun silently through the fibers of my being, a call to embrace the entirety of my existence. The shadows and the light, the joy and the pain, each woven together to create a melody uniquely my own, resonating outward into the world, touching the lives of those around me. With a deep, grounding breath, I gathered the courage to plunge deeper. "Show me," I whispered again, allowing the sincerity of my intention to flow into the water. Suddenly, visions began to emerge, shimmering images unfurling like delicate petals. I saw the echoes of my past, the pivotal moments that had long remained dormant, each unfolding a story demanding to be heard. A young girl hesitated at the edge of a schoolyard, longing to leap into the friendship of others but pulled back by the weight of uncertainty. A young woman, trying to follow the path laid out by others, hiding dreams under layers of obligation. A moment of heartbreak that shattered my spirit yet unfurled into a canvas of creativity, each brushstroke a testament to resilience. I understood now that I had once let fear stifle my voice, and in doing so, I had silenced the vibrant notes my life yearned to sing, and yet, with each vision, I felt an intricate dance of liberation bubbling within. I reached deeper into the waters and caught glimpses of bonds I feared losing, dreams I had dismissed, and creativity begging for expression. These were not merely memories, they were sacred aspects of my song that had swirled beneath the surface, waiting for the permission to be sung. In that expansive moment, I understood what the luminous beetle and the ethereal figure had both conveyed. The journey was not about erasing the shadows, it was about allowing them to blend seamlessly with the light. My hidden symptoms were gateways, inviting me to embrace both the beauty and the chaos that life bestowed upon me. Each note held significance, each experience a thread in the grand tapestry begging for attention. As I looked into the pond again, I no longer just saw my reflection, I saw a vibrant being composed of multidimensional truths, ready to reclaim my voice. No longer did I need to hide behind the veil of perfection. I was worthy of singing my song, all its complexities and imperfections included. I stood, renewed vitality coursing through me, and began to vocalize my song, the sound rising as a beautiful hum that echoed through the grove. A symphony both chaotic and harmonious, it resonated with authenticity, flowing from the very core of my being. In that moment, amidst the trees and the shimmering water, I surrendered to the full expression of who I was destined to be. Suddenly, the grove itself seemed to come alive, the trees swayed as if dancing to the melody, their leaves shimmering with approval. The flowers swayed harmoniously, and the echoes of my voice began to intertwine with a chorus of nature, each note forged in unity. I sang of love, loss, fear, and vulnerability, each word a tribute to the light and shadow in my life. At that moment, the very fabric of existence felt palpable, resonating with shared truths that connected us all. I could feel energy surging from the depths of the earth, reminding me of my roots, just as I was now learning to unearth my own. The sacred unrest within was not merely personal. It was a collective awakening, a shared song meant to inspire others to unlock their own hidden depths. With every note that emerged, a quiet assurance settled in my heart: what if my song could ripple across the lives of others, calling them into their own awakening? Could my willingness to embrace the shadows invoke a liberation that spread far beyond me? As my voice reverberated through the grove, I understood that my own journey was and always would be intertwined with the consciousness of the world around me. In unlocking the sacred unrest within, I had unlocked the potential for a deeper connection with humanity. With a final, resounding note, I finished my song, my heart bursting with peace. The forest fell silent, as if holding its breath, then erupted into a soft murmur, the rustle of leaves, the gentle flow of the stream, the hum of life itself. I turned away from the pond, feeling the warmth of the morning sun breaking through the trees. The sacred unrest had transformed into something beautiful and profound, an awakening, not just for me, but for all who journeyed alongside me through life. And there, in that sacred place of resonance and revelation, I knew with unwavering certainty that I was ready to embrace the dance, to walk boldly into the unfolding mystery of my existence, and to inspire others to join me, for within every soul lies a symphony, waiting patiently to emerge, an invitation to explore the shadows in the light of divine grace, a journey forever growing and evolving, eternally intertwined and beautifully interconnected. And so it is, in the depths and the heights of our experiences, we find the truth. The sacred unrest within us is the very essence of our being, a melody longing to be sung, transforming both ourselves and the world around us into a unified masterpiece.